Have you ever looked at a seat in your life that was once filled with warmth, laughter, and promises, only to find it suddenly empty? Perhaps someone who once promised to remain close has quietly grown distant. A relationship you prayed for with tears has come to an end. A trusted friend no longer reaches out. You may have tried repeatedly to repair the connection, apologizing, compromising, and reaching across the gap, only to watch the same painful issues continue. Or perhaps the ending came abruptly, leaving you without the explanation or closure you hoped to receive. In the wake of such a loss, painful questions naturally begin to whisper in the silence. Was I not good enough? Did I misunderstand God's direction? Should I keep trying to fix this? Why would heaven allow someone so important to leave my life? It is so easy to fall into the comfort of cliches, telling ourselves that God simply removed them because he has someone better waiting. But human relationships are far more complex. Not every person who leaves was directly removed by a divine decree. Human beings possess free will. Circumstances change, trust can fray, and sometimes endings happen because a dynamic has simply become unhealthy or unsustainable. Even when you do not fully understand why someone left, an ending does not have to destroy you. It can become a sacred space, a mirror revealing what needs healing, what needs releasing, and what God may be teaching you about love, boundaries, and your true identity. Here are 5 things to understand when someone leaves your life. Thing number 1, not every ending means you failed. When a relationship ends, our natural human tendency is to judge the entire history of the connection by its final moments. We replay conversations in our mind late at night, searching for the single mistake, the wrong phrase, or the moment we should have done more. Honest self-examination is a mark of maturity, but carrying the weight of the entire ending on your shoulders alone is not. A healthy connection requires willingness, honesty, and effort from everyone involved. No matter how deeply you care, one person cannot carry a mutual relationship by themselves. Sometimes, 2 people simply grow in different directions. Sometimes trust is damaged in ways that cannot be restored to its original form. And sometimes the most honest act of love and self-respect is accepting what has already changed. In the book of Romans, Paul wrote, "If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone." Notice the quiet wisdom in those words. Scripture acknowledges both our personal responsibility and our human limitations. You are responsible for your own words, your own honesty, your willingness to apologize, and your own boundaries. You are not responsible for another person's choices, their emotional response, or their decision to stay or leave. You should always seek to learn from your past mistakes, but you do not have to turn another person's decision to walk away into a permanent judgment of your worth. Thing number 2, some relationships reveal what still needs healing. An ending rarely just reveals what happened between 2 people. It often acts like a gentle floodlight, illuminating what has been happening inside our own hearts. A painful departure can expose hidden places within us that are longing for healing. A deep fear of being abandoned, a habit of depending on another person's approval for our peace, a difficulty setting healthy boundaries, or a tendency to ignore red flags out of fear of being alone. We may realize we had a quiet pattern of sacrificing our own values or identity just to keep someone close. Recognizing these patterns is not about blaming yourself for the ending, nor is it about taking on shame. A relationship may not have created the original wound. It may simply have exposed something that was already hurting beneath the surface. In the Psalms, David invited God with the words, "Search me, God, and know my heart. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." And Proverbs reminds us to guard our hearts with wisdom, for it is the wellspring of life. Guarding your heart is not about building walls of emotional isolation or becoming suspicious of everyone. It is about extending wise, loving care to his own soul. Pain can expose a wound that needs attention, but that wound does not have to dictate the direction of your future. Thing number 3. Forgiveness does not always require reconnection. One of the most confusing burdens we carry during an ending is the belief that if we forgive someone, we are obligated to invite them back into the exact same place in our lives. Forgiveness and restored access are two very different decisions. Forgiveness is an internal release. It is refusing to let bitterness control your soul, choosing not to build your identity around the wrong that was done to you, and placing justice into God's hands. Forgiveness is a process that can be done entirely within your own heart, even if the other person never apologizes. Reconciliation, on the other hand, requires mutual effort. It requires honesty from both sides, genuine accountability, changed behavior over time, and the slow rebuilding of trust. Reconnection means opening the door to your life again, and wisdom dictates that access should always be guided by safety, evidence of real change, and healthy boundaries. Scripture encourages us toward forgiveness, yet Jesus also taught clear boundaries when trust is broken, and Proverbs reminds us that a prudent person foresees danger and responds wisely. Forgiveness does not require you to pretend nothing happened, nor does it compel you to remain in a dynamic that is continuously harmful or unsafe. You can forgive someone deeply in your heart, wishing them peace from a distance, while still recognizing that they should no longer hold the same place in your daily life. Thing number 4. You cannot force someone to walk the path with you. There is a quiet desperation that can overtake us when someone begins to pull away. We may tell ourselves that if we just find the right words, explain ourselves one more time, lower our boundaries, or try a little harder, we can fix what is slipping through our fingers. Yet love cannot be sustained through persuasion, control, chasing, or one-sided effort. A healthy, lasting connection requires mutual choice and shared responsibility. Repeatedly chasing someone who has chosen to step away only keeps your heart attached to a door that has already closed. In the scriptures, when continued proximity created ongoing strife between Abram and Lot, they chose to separate peacefully and walk down different paths. Later, when Paul and Barnabas faced a deep disagreement about their journey, they parted ways to pursue their callings separately. Separation is not always born out of hatred or punishment. Sometimes, distance is simply the wisest way to preserve peace and prevent further conflict. Accepting that someone has chosen a different path is not an approval of everything that happened. It is simply acknowledging reality so that healing can begin. Releasing control over another person's choices is not losing love. Sometimes, it is the quiet acceptance that love cannot force someone to choose what they are unwilling to choose. Thing number 5. An ending can create space for a healthier season. When a seat in our life becomes empty, our immediate reaction is often fear. Fear of the silence, fear of the unknown, and fear that the void will never be filled. We must be careful not to fall into the shallow promise that God removed someone simply because a better person is coming immediately to take their place. Healing is far deeper than a quick replacement. The space created by an ending may not be meant for a new relationship right away. It may be a sacred space given to you to restore your faith, rebuild neglected routines, reconnect with family and true friends, rediscover your personal values, and learn how to rest in God without making another human being the center of your universe. In the book of Ruth, we see a story born out of profound loss and empty seats. Ruth moved forward into an unfamiliar season, taking small, faithful, practical steps day by day in a new community, allowing God to rebuild her life from the inside out. The ending of a relationship can be a season where your life begins to grow again in ways you never anticipated, bringing greater inner peace, restored identity, stronger boundaries, and a deeper, more resilient faith. As we reflect on those who have walked out of our lives, we can begin to separate a relationship's value from its permanence. A connection does not have to last forever to have held real meaning. Letting go of someone does not require you to rewrite every good memory as a lie, nor does honoring what was beautiful require you to return to what became unhealthy. When someone leaves, an ending does not mean you failed. It may reveal a wound that is ready to be healed. Forgiveness can exist without restoring full access. You cannot force another person to walk your path, and the empty space can become the soil for a healthier season. Someone can be an important chapter in your story without becoming the author of your identity. Perhaps you are still waiting for that final conversation, the apology, or the clear explanation that will make this departure easier to bear. But closure rarely arrives through another person's words. Closure begins when you quietly accept what you cannot control and place the unfinished questions into God's gentle hands. If you are learning to release someone today while holding on to your peace, consider leaving a simple reflection in the comments below. God, help me let go with peace. And if your soul seeks a calm, reflective space for daily encouragement, scripture, and hope, please subscribe to When Heaven Whispers. You may not understand every reason they left, but their departure does not have the power to take your faith, your identity, or your future with them.